Eve has undergone a remarkable transformation throughout her career. From her days as a rapper in one of the most influential rap groups from the East Coast, to her role as co-host of The Talk with Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood. From a young age, Eve loved performing and being in the spotlight. She started with singing and dancing and later transitioned to rapping. She began with battle rapping and was incredibly talented. Despite being in a male-dominated industry, she held her own and even won battles. However, she always had bigger aspirations and wanted her music to be heard globally. Eve's journey to stardom was marked by constant obstacles and challenges. Despite facing adversity at every turn, the Philadelphia native never gave up on her dreams and continued to strive toward them. Join us as we look at her inspiring story. Eve was born on November 10, 1978 to Julie Wilcher, a high school senior at the time. In VH1's Driven docuseries, Wilcher explained that she named her daughter Eve because even as a baby, her presence was incredibly powerful, and the name seemed to fit perfectly. During her early years, Eve resided in public housing, which she despised, as she aspired for something more. Growing up with a single parent, her mother became her role model, as they essentially grew up together. Her father, Jerry Jeffers, wasn't really involved in her life, making things difficult. Despite these challenges, Eve's mother was able to shoulder the responsibility of being a single parent with strength and pride. Eve looked up to her mother and wanted to be like her when she grew up, according to childhood friends. Eve's mother was insistent that she be independent, and she became the role model that Eve aspired to emulate, eventually adopting that strength herself. During her adolescent years, Eve expressed her creativity by writing songs and raps outside of class. She joined her first rap group, Dope Girl Posse, and performed at various venues with her childhood friends and crewmates. Eve's passion for rap was evident as she formed a new duo group, EDJP, pronounced as Egypt, while attending Martin Luther King High School, after the breakup of her previous group due to her move to Germantown. After Egypt, Eve honed her skills by engaging in battles with anyone who was willing to compete, regardless of whether the battles occurred in the school hallways or on bustling Philadelphia street corners. She was hell-bent on showcasing her talent to the world, as she explained in an interview with BET for the Rough Riders Chronicle series. "I was a battle rapper. I wanted to go up against all the guys in every cypher on every corner. I've always been a tomboy. Hip-hop for me was Latifah, MC Lyte, Salt and Pepper, that sexiness they brought to it. But they still had guy swag. I never wanted to just be good for a girl." During high school, Eve was focused solely on pursuing a career in the music industry, and her academic studies took a back seat. She rebelled against societal expectations and prioritized her own desires. Eve's determination to succeed in the music industry led her to abandon her good grades and focus on performing. She participated in every talent show in her city and even pawned her possessions to travel to New York City and meet with music executives. Despite her love for school and English class, she barely graduated from high school, as her education was mainly focused on writing beats in a friend's bedroom. Eve's aspirations of being discovered after high school did not come to fruition, leaving her feeling unsure of her abilities as a rapper. Despite frequently traveling between New York and Philadelphia in the pursuit of a record deal, she considered quitting. In need of money, she turned to a group of strippers for support, which worried those close to her. Her mother described her as being totally different and on a downward spiral in VH1's Driven. Eve's stint as a stripper was short-lived, lasting only about 2 months, as she confessed to BET that she was the laziest stripper. Eve credited rapper Mace for inspiring her to quit stripping for good during a brief encounter, as revealed in her interview with Entertainment Tonight, saying, "It was a slow night and this guy comes walking in, and one of the girls who I hung out with was like, 'Yo, that's that new kid, he just got signed to Puff.'" Summoning up her courage, Eve approached Mace and offered him a dance. To her surprise, he was more interested in learning about her life and aspirations. The conversation ended with a powerful realization. "You're not supposed to be here," Mace told her, before asking, "What is it that you want to do?" With a determined voice, Eve replied, "I want to be a rapper." That encounter really hit home with Eve, and she left the profession shortly after. It wasn't long until Eve received a call from her manager telling her to meet up with Mike Lynn, who was Dr. Dre's right-hand man. She devised a plan to disguise herself as a delivery girl, impressing Lynn with her performance. He was so impressed that he called her the future of female rap. 2 weeks later, Eve was on a plane to Los Angeles, where she impressed Dr. Dre and was quickly signed to a record deal with Aftermath Records. Regrettably, as soon as Eve started to adjust, problems began to arise. She had to struggle to obtain Dr. Dre's attention to record a complete demo, which was the primary purpose for her being in Los Angeles. After only 7 months of living in the City of Angels, Aftermath Records let go of Eve. Eve returned to her starting point after leaving Los Angeles and felt like she had regressed further than where she had begun. Despite feeling depressed, she recognized that it was a necessary experience as she had been primarily a battle rapper and lacked experience in songwriting. Once again, Eve received a sudden call from her manager, instructing her to head to Yonkers, New York, which was the home of the Rough Riders. This came at the behest of Jimmy Iovine, co-founder and chairman of Interscope Records, who recognized her talent and was looking for a way to help her make the record she wanted. He expressed his support for Eve, stating that he and Dr. Dre had always believed in her. Once Eve became the first lady of Rough Riders in 1998, she had to prove herself through the required boot camp. The Rough Riders did not treat her differently because of her gender, and Eve was determined to show that she could hustle just as hard as the male members. She spent long days in the studio writing and rapping for 4 months to a year, as described by former label mate Drag On in VH1's Driven. Eve recorded her debut album, Let There Be Eve, within 2 months in 1999, as she told Brett Barish on Self-Made Tastes Better. It became the first female rap album to debut at #1 on the Billboard charts. The album was personal to her, with every song reflecting her life up to that point. One track, Heaven Only Knows, was even dedicated to her time as a stripper. Eve continued to make history with her second album, Scorpion. Despite resistance from some members of her team, the album included Let Me Blow Your Mind, a collaboration with Gwen Stefani that would go on to win the first ever Grammy Award for Best Rap Song Collaboration in 2002. The song's infectious beat produced by Dr. Dre captivated listeners worldwide, catapulting Eve to global fame. Eve's Grammy win opened new doors for her in the entertainment industry, including opportunities in television and movies. According to Eve's stepfather, Ron Wilch, the award served as a door opener and a key to other possibilities in the industry. In 2002, Eve had the opportunity to star in 2 major movies. Her debut was in the action film Triple X, where she acted alongside Vin Diesel and Samuel L. Jackson, portraying the character of JJ, a sassy businesswoman. She also appeared in the popular movie Barbershop alongside Ice Cube and Cedric the Entertainer. After achieving success in movies, Eve ventured into television. She starred in her own TV show titled Eve in 2003, where she played the lead character, Shelley. Her experiences on the big screen have set the foundation to scoring more high-profile jobs, including starring as the co-host on the Talk Daytime Talk Show alongside big names like Sarah Gilbert, Julie Chen, Sharon Osbourne, and Cheryl Underwood. Eve took over as a permanent host on the show after Aisha Tyler's departure at the end of the previous season, as she decided to concentrate on her other TV and film endeavors, such as Criminal Minds on CBS. After 4 successful seasons on the show, the rapper said farewell before relocating to London. During her final show, she showered her co-hosts with love and appreciation. I truly, genuinely, for real love you. I have been so lucky and so grateful to be a part of this show. I've learned from each of you ladies. Eve didn't just experience a glow up in her career, but in her love life too. During the late 1990s, rapper Eve and music producer Stevie J were known as a hip-hop power couple. However, according to Eve, the relationship negatively affected her health and mental well-being, to the point where she even had to end her tour early to ground herself. On an episode of BET's docuseries Rough Riders Chronicles, Eve opened up about what she considers the most toxic relationship of her life. At that time, I was also in a relationship that was very toxic. That wasn't working. It wasn't good because here is this person that I thought was the love of my life. It's just so unsupportive. It was just so much competition. Those days are long behind her. In 2010, she met British entrepreneur Maximilian Cooper at the Gumball Car Rally, an event attended by wealthy individuals who drive their supercars across different countries. Despite Eve's initial reservations about dating someone in ultra-rich circles, Cooper surprised her by not being what she expected. Following their courtship, Eve and Cooper exchanged their vows on June 13, 2014. Their wedding was a unique experience, with rapper Bun B serving as the master of ceremonies. Cooper was thrilled to call Eve his wife, and he has subsequently expressed his excitement about their union, as he should. When they first met, Eve divided her time between Los Angeles and London. She relocated to London after marrying her husband, who lives there with his 4 children. Being a wife and mother is a new and demanding role for Eve. As she explained to The Guardian, "We definitely went through some growing pains. I moved countries, got married, and became a stepmom all at the same time. That took a lot of figuring out my identity." Cooper, who had not dated a black woman before, had difficulty understanding certain aspects of Eve's life. As a result, they had to learn to be patient and understanding with each other. Eve took the time to teach him and his children about her experiences as a black woman. While some situations were challenging, Eve has never been one to give up easily. Last year, the couple has welcomed their first child and are looking ahead to a beautiful future together. As the daughter of a teenage mom, Eve didn't have the most privileged start to her life. Still, an innate love for music propelled her from a career in stripping to being a Grammy-awarded rapper. This set the foundation for her to make the leap into Hollywood and become a household name on our TV screens. Despite being in a toxic relationship, Eve didn't let that hold her back. She left and later met Maximilian Cooper, her now husband, and is looking forward to starting a family. Are you inspired by Eve's story? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay in the loop.